Welcome, friends, to my summer fairy tales. I hope you're having a great day so far. And tonight we're listening to 365 storybook collection, and the two stories that I'll be reading for your listening pleasure is Friends Forever from Lilo and Stitch and Late for Supper from The Fox and the Hunt. Let's begin. Experiment 626 was a blue creature from a distant planet who was punished for being very naughty and destroying everything around him. One day he escaped his planet in a police cruiser and headed straight for Earth. On the tiny island of Kauau was a little girl named Lilo. She found it had to make friends and was very lonely. She found it hard to make friends and was very lonely. One night, Lilo had a fight with her sister Nanny. Lilo went to her room and slammed the door shut. Out of her window, Lilo saw a falling star and made a wish. "I wish for someone to be my friend," she whispered. The falling star that Lilo had seen was actually Experiment 626 ship crashing on the island. A truck driver found him and took him to an animal shelter. All the animals were scared of 626, but he didn't care. He scrunched two of his forearms in toward his torso so he would look more like a dog. That way he'd be adopted and have a place to hide from the aliens who were chasing him. The next day, Nanny decided to take Lilo to the shelter to pick a new pet. "Hi, Lilo," said when she saw 626. Hi," the creature replied, and then he gave her a hug. Lilo walked back to the front room and told Nanny she'd found the dog she wanted. "He's good," she said. "I can tell. His name is Stitch." They took Stitch home, even though Nanny thought he looked strange. Nanny was glad Lilo finally had a friend. At home, however, Stitch began to tear things apart and cause trouble for Nanny. "We have to take him back," Nanny said. "We adopted him," Lilo cried. "What about Ohana?" Dad said Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind, Nanny finished. "I know." She remembered how welcoming her parents had been and how important family was to them. She changed her mind. She would give Stitch another chance. For Lilo's sake. From then on, Lilo and Stitch stuck together through anything that came their way. She changed her mind. She would give Stitch another chance for Lilo's sake. From then on, Lilo and Stitch stuck together through anything that came their way. Lilo helped Stitch learn how to behave, and Stitch became the friend that Lilo had wished for on a falling star. Late for supper. Widow Tweed was busy making supper. She filled a large baking pan with meat and vegetables, then rolled out a flaky crust and set it on top. After crimping the pie's edges, she slipped the pan into the oven. "Chicken pot pie," she said, Dot's favorite. Widow Tweed looked out the window and noticed that the sun was setting. "I wonder where that clever little devil has got to," she said. She watched the sun sink behind the rolling forest hills, then sat down and picked up her knitting. She had a project to finish. Besides, the pot pie should be ready soon, and Dot was never late for supper. "Knit one, purl two, knit one, purl two," the widow said quietly as she put the finishing touches on a soft blanket. She was knitting for Dot's bed. The smell of chicken pot pie drifted past her nose, and the widow got up to take it out of the oven. Suddenly she heard a scratching at the door. Right on time, as usual, she said. As she opened the door, "Come on, Todd, dinner's ready." But Todd wasn't there. The scratching had just been a small twig blown against the door by the wind. "Todd?" Widow Tweed called, peering into the darkness. "No playing tricks now." But the little red fox did not appear. "Oh, Todd," she said, "where are you?" Stepping back into the house, she pulled on her shoes and the sweater. She'd just have to go out to look for him. After lighting an old kerosene lantern, she opened the door for a second time and nearly tripped over the red fox on her front porch. He sat there quietly, a colorful bouquet of wildflowers resting at his feet. "Oh, Todd," Widow Tweed cried. She picked up the bouquet and scooped him into her arms. "You sweetie pie." Todd nuzzled the widow's neck as she carried him into the house and deposited him on his chair at the kitchen table. Soon the two were sharing a delicious feast of chicken pot pie, and after supper, the widow admired her bouquet above the mantel while Todd curled up in his bed with his cozy new blanket. Thank you so much for listening to tonight's ASMR, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.